Hi, Warriors. I wanted to tell you about a terrific group of young women that I met only yesterday. I was doing my weekly Warriors radio program on WVOX radio here in New York. By the way, every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And it came to my attention recently this wonderful group of middle school girls and high school girls called the Wonder Girls, based here in New York and New Jersey, put together an anti-trafficking campaign for the month of January to honor and raise awareness about January is Human Trafficking Prevention Month. And they put together the greatest PSA, public service announcement, about all of this. They aim to educate, engage, and empower. And these are our future female leaders. And I was thinking to myself, this is a vision. These young women, these Wonder Girls, are warriors. These are true warriors. So they're going into their communities. They have volunteer days, days of service, peer to peer. They're empowering each other and other girls. And they're also, the Wonder Girls, the organization itself, is also bringing together the moms or caretakers through a series of in-person now workshops. And during COVID, they only began Wonder Girls in 2020, virtual workshops, so that the parents, the trusted adults, can learn about all of these issues. And the girls themselves pick different issues. Remember, they only started in 2020, and they chose January to shine a light on human trafficking. And I couldn't have been more proud of them. I had 3 of them on, and they were absolutely well-spoken. They were absolutely just articulate. They were absolutely full of energy. And you know what, Warriors? That's what's infectious. And we need to showcase. There are so many, I forgot to turn the phone off. There are so many good groups out there and kids doing some great things. But you know what? We should be seeing the Wonder Girls on every mainstream media platform. We should be shining the light on young women like this. Let me tell you about them. So we had Christina in the 10th grade, and we had Wonder Girls Ambassador, fierce advocate. And we also had Kayla, 11th grade, in the public service announcement. And we had Natalia, also in the 11th grade, and in the PSA. And they explain their experiences in being part of this, collective group of Wonder Girls, and how they work together and they support each other and talk to other kids their age. Warriors, we need the Wonder Girls and boys, in every community. So I urge all of you, because it takes a lot for me to get impressed about anything, to learn more and to follow and to see the vision and the mission and what these terrific young people do, because we do not give enough credit and showcase enough our young people. We do hear all the time, and you know this, about how horrible when people do horrible things. That's what makes the news. I don't even like to say the news anymore, because everything is topsy-turvy, and I've been tuning out. I've been too busy going morning to night with the Warriors. But of course, I'm online and writing emails and things pop up, but I haven't put the television set on. I usually used to keep it on in the background, even with the sound down. I'm disgusted, though. I don't even do that. I want positivity around me, around us. I truly believe that it's infectious. And I also want to share that, and this applies to anybody, but also for the Wonder Girls, this group, that just a little bit of mentoring, just a little bit of encouragement is all our young people need to step up and feel good about themselves and feel like somebody cares about them. So I'm going to urge all of you, we must come together. We must create community, which the Wonder Girls does. We must support We must showcase our young people doing great things. Go to the website, wondergirlsusa.org, learn all about them. And then I am asking you, their PSA, their public service announcement for Human Trafficking Month, which is right now, January, is right there. You will see the excellent facts, the excellent production. Please share it on your social media platforms, because January comes, we talk about human trafficking prevention, and it just, a little bit in the beginning, a little bit for January 11th, which is always Wear Blue Day and raise awareness about trafficking. Now, we both know, all of us know, there's more than just two of us, I hope here. That's nice. Wear blue, collective. Blue is the color of trafficking, by the way. It represents the sadness of people trafficked, and it reminds us how sad these traffickers, the situation is. But anyway, as I digress there for a second, it's nice to wear blue and have a collective action. It can't hurt, right? Right, warriors? It's nice to have a month. I think we can all agree we need a day, a week, a year. This is an American crisis. I talk a lot about issues, but I don't really go into the border issues, which are disgusting and horrific and horrifying, and nobody seems to be talking about them. And if you do talk about it, you get shut down online. I'm currently on my Lynn's Warriors Instagram. I only have 200 and something followers. They don't really allow me to grow, because my numbers should be much bigger. But I did receive almost a month ago a message popping up that says they restrict certain activity to protect the community. Now, I can't figure out for the life of me, and you can go and look, Lynn's Warriors Instagram. I'm allowed to post pictures, but I can't follow people. I can't comment on people. I can't, put the little heart and like somebody. And I totally always act as a cheerleader for all of this in human trafficking, all of this education. I don't do anything nasty. I might think about things, but I don't do it. And I'm an encourager. And I have tried every which way to undo this, and it's not allowing me. And I see now some new people trying to follow me, and they can't. And all I'm trying to do, warriors, is wake everybody up, not scare you, wake you up. I want you to hear about the Wonder Girls, and you're not going to hear about them in many other places. I'm pretty well schooled in all of this, and if I didn't know about them, and they're right here where I live, New York and New Jersey, there's something wrong with that. So I'm so happy that one of their co-founders, Natalie Maniscalco, contacted me and said, we want to come on your radio program. We have this PSA. It's a wonderful group of young women. Can we come on? I said, of course, everybody come on. That's what we need to hear about. So you can also listen to the interview. I have it on my Twitter and Facebook at Lynn's Warriors. You can go to my SoundCloud channel, Lynn's Warriors. You can certainly go to WVOX.com, Lynn's Warriors. You have no excuse, warriors. And tonight's actually extra special because I put on my Lynn's Warriors sweat jacket for all of you to see. Remember, merchandise available, cafepress.com, Lynn's Warriors. All of our proceeds go to help human trafficking survivors with economic empowerment so they can have a little freedom. I was presented with an Amazon wish list, say that 3 times, wish list today. And if you're familiar with that or not familiar with that, you can set up on Amazon, and people can, Amazon sets it all up for you. And for instance, for the warriors or other organizations, we have survivors and they can put their wish list. And I won't use names or anything like that, but this particular woman, survivor, never, ever lived on her own. We'll just leave it at that, trafficked. And I looked at the wish list very quickly. And of course, I have to go fill out some of the merchandise and send it and this and that. So sad, warriors. It is shower curtain. It is Windex, can opener. This woman never had any of this. So you see, we're rebuilding lives, and it takes one step at a time. This shower curtain and can opener, And Windex will mean so much to this woman. What we take for granted. That is another reason I urge all of you. I believe it's all of our duties. I really do. Especially since I've gotten older and I've stepped away from what might be considered the Hollywood scene and working in entertainment to do good. And there is so much need. And I don't have to sit here and tell you this. So I want all of you just to be aware of the Wonder Girls. I don't care if you have a Facebook or a Twitter. Go on my Facebook or Twitter and just retweet, or go to the website, wondergirlsusa.org. See this terrific work. Share their PSA. It is most necessary. And on that note, I want to just tell you about the Wonder Girls because I will be singing their praises. And stay tuned because I would like to work further with the Wonder Girls and develop some live events and some coordination. So we'll see about that. And also in the meantime, going very heavily, and don't tune out Warriors, because this is going to affect everybody here in New York and across the United States. The 2 E's. Do you know what they are? 2 pieces of legislation. I had a terrific meeting. When I say meeting, it's a coalition. All of these things are coalitions. New York State Anti-Trafficking Coalition today for an update on full decrim. As many of you are aware, in New York City specifically, anything is going. And it's interesting because one of our colleagues who works at Covenant House, if you're familiar with Covenant House, it is here in New York. They've been around for since the 70s. They take in homeless and trafficked youth. And yes, ages 16 to 24, I believe. And I've had, for years, I've passed them. They're on 42nd Street over here on the west side. And she was explaining that always, and we know this from all the foster homes or anywhere youth gather, that the pimps and traffickers always hang out outside trying to recruit. And she said just recently, and they have security all around the building, chasing them off, watching the kids, the whole bit. It still happens. Let's be realistic. But she said it has tripled in recent months, just very recently, with the amount of pimps and traffickers hanging around outside of Covenant House, looking to recruit kids. And you know why that is? It is because the word is out on the street that New York City in particular, / New York State, is a free-for-all, that no one is getting arrested, that no one is being held accountable for any of these heinous crimes, these sex crimes, this trafficking, this exploitation, and therefore high demand. You have to fill a high demand. You need more people. Where do these people come from? Usually from the vulnerable communities. And so we have a new DA, Alvin Bragg, and we were having discussions, and we had somebody from his office today. He's only been in office actually 3 weeks tomorrow. And he put out a day one bulletin about bulletin announcement, whatever you want to call it. He wouldn't be prosecuting certain crimes. No mention of, it just said some sex crimes. And everybody's up in arms because we want to know, what are these some sex crimes? What does that mean? Still, the lawyer today, the assistant DA on our meeting, polished, smooth, just said, I can reassure you, we will be prosecuting to the fullest extent of the law. Prosecuting what? You're not describing what you're prosecuting. One of our other colleagues then added, well, we want to know about this full decrim facing our city, because there's no mention of it. There's no breakdown from the new DA. What's happening? Because we know from every study where prostitution is legal, Germany, all these places, that in order to fill this, you need this demand, you need people. Therefore, where it's legal, people are trafficked. People are forced. They're no better off. It's not like pretty woman, which I always use as an analogy, and these women are setting up business and keeping the money for themselves. I want everybody to know I didn't know any of these things either. You're not to blame, but once you become involved like I am and know the truths and the facts and see the studies, I mean, this stuff is unbelievable. So here in New York State, we're facing the full decriminalization of the sex trade. We have an opposing bill we're going to call them our opponents, which are AKA people who support the sex trade. Remember, you can be a nurse, you can be a doctor, you can be a teacher, you can be a sex worker. That's the thinking. It's all great. It's all good. Go for it. It's your body, your choice. Yes, of course, that's true. However, no little child wakes up, boy or girl, and says, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, Grandpa, I'm going to be a prostitute when I turn 12. No, they don't wake up that way. Learned experience. So right now we're facing this full decrim. And we have this DA, Alvin Bragg, who is certainly not helping the situation because we don't know where he stands. It's not looking good. We do have our opposing bill, Sex Trade Survivors Justice and Equality Act, and we're strengthening up forces. And we had some very good news I learned today. We now have a lobbyist who will work on our behalf up in Albany to push our agenda, because you know what? Our opponents, as I call them, have lobbyists, they have loads of money, they're the darlings of the media, and they are just the darlings of former mayor's office. I don't like to say his name, so I don't. And they get all the attention. Well, you know what? That's about to change. So we have the equality model. And Lynn's Warriors is part of the Coalition New Yorkers for the equality model. So another take action, please, warriors, we are ramping this up, is you go to equalitymodelnewyork.org. That is the website, equalitymodelnewyork.org. If you're in New York and you sign on, you will see bill overview for our Sex Trade Survivors Justice and Equality Act, which means should a prostituted person want to get out of this life, we will provide resources and help them. However, we will hold accountable that pimp trafficker, brothel owner, illicit spa owner, because you have to remember, which I didn't understand this either, warriors, most of these people in prostitution, studies show up to 97% were trafficked into it. They didn't choose this lifestyle. I didn't know it either. So why should they be held accountable if they're vulnerable and forced? And their traffickers, their pimps, always pretty much get them to do theft, drugs, other crimes. So they'll have records. They can never get away. These vulnerable people. So we have to look at all this and study all of this. We don't want this for our children and our grandchildren. I know you join me in this. So you've got some homework. We start with wondergirlsusa.org. Please support young people doing wonderful work. We need to build this out, build it up in each and every community. Get ready, because the Warriors has only begun. We are going to have Warriors ambassadors across the country eventually. We are going to have safe houses. We are going to have so many things you have no idea. So fasten your seatbelt, as they say. We'll leave that for now. You must go to equalitymodelnewyork.org. If you're in New York, we need your name and your zip code. We need to build our coalition with the public. If any of you are part of a PTA, a club in New York, anything, an organization, and you're hearing me, or any of you out there listening know of somebody, please contact me, lynn@lynswarriors.org, so we can add on some organizations and some groups. I am collecting lots of individual names. Of course, that is terrific, and we need more, but we also need some groups. So I've got to get going. It's just not enough hours in the day on all of this. And we're going to pass our Sex Trade Survivors Justice and Equality Act, because we're talking about human beings, and enough's enough, warriors. This is a disgrace what's going on. These open societies and these loudmouths and criminals having the say. Well, I don't think so. It's 2022 and the warriors are here. And I'm going to just plant the seed as to not overwhelm. And it's very late at night. And I still have a couple of things to write, but Earn It Act. Just know Earn It Act should be hitting the floor of Congress the week of January 24th. We're very excited about this. It is the best bill to hold big tech accountable for the exploitation of our children online. That's all you need to know for now. You need to, again, go to linswarriors.org, the website, and read about the Earn It Act. We have a take action. We need names. This is a national movement. It is time sensitive. We don't know exactly. We're told the week of January 24th, it will be reintroduced on the floor. It was passed unanimously by judiciary in 2020. We are talking bipartisan, which means everybody's for protecting kids, right? Or at least you'd think so. And we're waiting. So we have a lot of work this weekend to do as far as advocacy and outreach. So we need all of you, look for that take action on linswarriors.org. There's a tab, take action. But read about this because there's a very well-funded campaign of disinformation and misinformation from big tech. If you look up Earn It, you see nothing but negative, negative, negative. It does not undermine, privacy and all these crazy things, but people believe this. And certainly, again, the media does not cover. And that's why Lynn's Warriors is here to share facts with you. So you've got some homework. WonderGirlsUSA.org, New Yorkers for the Equality Model. So that's equalitymodelnewyork.org if you're in New York. But remember, I want you to read about that anyway, because this full decrim will be and is already sweeping our country. So it's not going to just be in New York, but we would like New York to be the leader in, saying, no, we're not taking this anymore. And there's so many great groups working on this you'll never hear about. Well, I'm here. I'm going to be telling you about so many of them, Sanctuary for Families and Lifeway Network and Coalition Against Trafficking Women, Covenant House, just so many that we have to share this good news. We have to share people doing positive things. So I'm going to leave you with a final note that yesterday was my birthday, and I want to thank any of you who reached out to me. I received wonderful donations for the Warriors, lots of cards, emails, Facebook messages. I would say for over 24 hours, they were constant between the direct messages, people calling, people sending. It was very overwhelming and very, very humbling. And I want to thank you to all of those people who sent me wishes for safety and luck in this coming year. But you know what? I could do none of this without you. So let me be your warrior and come to linswarriors.org and listen to me. And if you do one little thing, if you retweet one tweet or share one picture of a missing child, or listen to me about one of these bills and want to sign on, just your name and your zip code, numbers count, you're a warrior. And that's why we're here, because we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to fight back. We're going to engage, educate, and empower. And we're going to do the right thing. So with that, until we meet again, be a warrior.